Welcome to the Dray Way. Yes, welcome to a new show. Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm your host, Drayton Nay. Let's go. Hey, look. There's a lot we have to talk about today. I'm glad you're here. By the way, if you have not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. Yeah, hit the subscribe button and check out a new show every single day. And what I want to talk about today is Donald Trump is bored. Yeah, Donald Trump is just kind of playing with us at this point. He's bored. And can you blame him for being bored? Stop for a minute and think about this. Just stick with me on this one. What does Donald Trump, now remember, Donald Trump is heading for 80 years old, all right? Now, Donald Trump years ago built a huge Taj Mahal casino, the Taj Mahal. Everybody remembers the Taj Mahal. And that was decades ago, okay? And then not only did he fail at that, but he's tried a little bit of everything. And then here, recently, he tries politics, becomes president of the United States, gets a full-time security detail, and now gets to run for president again, runs for president again, even after going to court and losing on certain cases, winning on other ones. But none of it all really matters because here he's elected president once again. And he's almost 80 years old. So now that he's almost 80 years old and walking into the White House, what do you think his feeling is right now? Because he's already got people in the Supreme Court willing to back him up. He's already got the House, he's got the Senate, and who's going to tell him no? Who's going to check Donald Trump at this point? Because we've already seen in court case after court case after court case, ultimately he ends up skating. So what is the challenge when he walks into the White House now? I want you to stop and think about that. I want you to stop and think about what is his challenge now? What do you think it is Donald Trump is dying to do when he gets in the White House? Besides going after people that, he feels wronged him. I mean, that's one, there's no doubt about it. Donald Trump likes revenge. Donald Trump can't let anything roll off his shoulder. Nothing. He has to respond to everything, and anybody that's come for him, he now has to go for them. So that's really what he's looking to do now, because it's not about accomplishments. It's not about, okay, I'm the president, I want to accomplish this. He's bored. Donald Trump is walking into the White House bored, which means everything he's already talked about is already boring to him. Deporting millions of people, that's boring. Getting rid of the education department, that's boring too. That's just stuff he's already talked about. So what new can Donald Trump do? That's what you better be concerned with. That's what we need to talk about today. What new can Donald Trump do? Yep, what new can Donald Trump do? Because let me tell you something. Think about this. If you are nearly 80 years old, you've already been the president once, all right? You're walking into the White House again. And it's not like he's walking into the White House with this huge agenda. He's already put other people in place of, we're going to deport millions of people. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, how is that an accomplishment for the United States? Because if he's is successful at doing that, that will totally crater our economy. Getting rid of millions and millions and millions of workers would have a huge damaging effect on our economy. So even if he does partly what he says he's going to do, if he succeeds at that, that's going to be really damaging to the economy really quickly. And Donald Trump has to be thinking in the back of his mind, whatever I do, I got to be careful because in 2 years, the House goes up for election again. And if Donald Trump loses the House, his presidency is over because the House will agree with nothing that man wants to do. So Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to just coast, I think, the first couple of years. Is he going to put in a whole bunch of tariffs? Is he really going to deport millions of people in the first couple of years? No. What Donald Trump is going to, I think, try to do is come up with other things to do because he's bored. And a bored Donald Trump, did anybody expect him to pick the people that he picked for his cabinet? I mean, everybody's looking around from around the world going, what kind of bad joke is that? Well, it looks like a bad joke because Donald Trump is just poking the eye of the government. He's going, watch, look at me. I can do whatever I want. And who's to challenge him? Who is going to challenge Donald Trump? Because like it or not, for the next 2 years, we have a king. We don't have a president. We have a king that wants to run everything. And the America thought they would never have a king again. We left England to never have a king again. Guess what? We have a king again. Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear on this one. I want to hear what you guys think because I think Donald Trump is walking into the White House really, really bored. And you know what that does? That really, really scares me. Let me know what you think in the comments. We got more to talk about. Stay right there. I got to talk about this. I promised myself I wasn't going to talk about it, but I've been watching MSNBC. I've been watching Mika and Joe Scarborough for at least 10 years. I've been watching them. I've been watching the show, not religiously, but 2 or 3 times a week, maybe, sometimes less, but I've been watching the show for years and years and years. And, especially in the last few years, they have been rightfully very anti-Donald Trump. And I don't think they were appropriate the very first time he ran for president. Yeah, I don't like what they did. I don't like how they normalized Donald Trump at that point. But what they just recently did and going to Mar-a-Lago to normalize their relationship with Donald Trump, I found that to be disgusting. Yeah, and I will never turn on MSNBC again until those two are gone. Yeah, they have. I will have nothing to do with MSNBC. I will continue to watch Lawrence O'Donnell on YouTube, but yeah, turning on MSNBC, yeah, that's not a thing anymore. Yeah, it's Good Morning with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. Yeah, no more. Morning Joe, morning forget it. Instead of Morning Joe, it's Morning Forget It, because I am not turning that on whatsoever. Because you can't go down, after especially the last few years being anti-Trump and being, Trump is dangerous. Trump is against democracy. Trump is trying to be king, a dictator. After all of that, you decide when he wins the election, you decide to go down and normalize relationships with him. Yeah, that's there's a definition there. You're a sellout. Yeah, you guys are complete sellouts, and because you sold out, yeah, I want nothing to do with you guys anymore. And I think I speak for a large part of Democrats that are like, yeah, we're done with you. Yeah, we want nothing to do with MSNBC, particularly the morning show. Now, like I said, I will continue to watch Lawrence O'Donnell because I like Lawrence O'Donnell. But you can't sell yourself out like that, Joe and Mika. And that's exactly what you did. And I'm sure Donald Trump is now laughing at you. He's basically walking around to all his friends going, yeah, did you notice how they had to come to me and kiss my ring? Yeah, you have now made yourself a mockery. Yeah, a complete joke. And rightfully so. because you should have stuck to your guns. If you had core beliefs, if you really believed in your heart of hearts that Donald Trump, like I do, is a danger to America, you never would have done what you did. But because you did, I'm done with you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I can't wait to see what you guys think, but I am done with Morning Joe. Let me know what you think in the comments. More to come. I had to take my mother to the doctor's yesterday, and it was a new doctor. She's got a new general practitioner, and the doctor was very nice, and she was in there with her for about 2 hours, going over her medical history, doing a very, very good and thorough job. And it made me feel more comfortable having a doctor, really. She took her time. She went through everything, because my mom has had, breast cancer. She's had a couple of stents put in. She's had a number of things that she needed to go over with the doctor, and the doctor was very patient and went through everything with her, in detail. It was, like I said, it was like a 2-hour doctor. But when was the last time you sat in a doctor's office for 2 hours? I'm not talking about in the waiting room. I'm talking about back in the room with the doctor, and the doctor sitting there and writing all these notes down. So I really appreciated it. And then she went over with her each medication, because my mom takes like 4 or 5 different medications, including thyroid and some other medications. My dad takes about the same, like 4 or 5 different pills and everything. And the doctor was going down the list and describing each pill and making sure that the dosage was correct and letting her know how important it was to stay on each one of those pills. And she explained them in detail for about 10 minutes each as she went down the list of pills. So my mom was needing a couple of prescriptions, and my dad was in need of a couple of prescriptions. And the doctor said, okay, I will write these up, and I'll get them. Where do you go to get your medications? And he said, we go over here to CVS at the corner of Maryland. And she said, oh, okay, I'm familiar with it. I'll write those up and send those out today. Make sure that you pick them up, because Dan, your husband, is going to be out of that pill today, and he needs to make sure he stays on that pill. And my mom's like, oh, absolutely, we'll go today. All right. So I drove my mom home, and I said, Mom, why don't you, hang out at the house? You don't have to go with me. There's probably going to be a line and stuff like that. I'll go get the medications. I'll go get the pills. And she said, all right. So I go to CVS, and there's predictably a long line. I was going to go through the drive-through, but that was like 8 cars deep. And I'm like, 8 cars? Yeah, I'll just go inside. And I go inside, and I'm standing right behind this older gentleman, and he's easily in his 80s, and I'm like 4th in line, and people go in front of us, and this guy has a cane, and he's got 3 pill bottles in his hand, and he's got a cane in his hand. And she says, next, and he walks very slowly with his cane, and he says, I need these 3 refilled. And she goes, have you, do you have a prescription already in? He goes, oh yeah, I bring these to just remember what 3 they are and make sure I have them. And she says, okay. So she goes through, and sure enough, she's got all 3 bags, and she pulls them down, and she looks at him, and she says, all right, that'll be $88. And he goes, $88? He goes, I thought it was, $38. And she goes, no, one of the medications is no longer, covered, and it's $88. And he says, okay, well, I don't have enough money for that, I don't have the money for that. I'll have to take these 2. And she goes, well, this is your blood thinner. You're going to need that. And he said, well, I can't get that right now. Maybe next week. And it made my heart absolutely sink. And I walked up behind him and I said, give him the pills. I got it. And he turned around and he looked at me and he goes, you got it? And I said, yeah, sir, I got it. You're not going to go without your pills. You know, I said, give him the pills. I'll pay the $50. And he goes, oh, I can't let you do that. I said, oh, well, it's already being done, so don't worry about it. You need your medication. Here's your pills. And he put his cane against the counter and took his arm and gave me a pat on the back like that. And I can't tell you how good that felt. You know, how good that felt and how appreciative this little old man was. But, you know, he said, God bless you. And I said, God bless you. And the woman behind the CVS says, you know, that was a really nice thing to do. And I said, you know what? I cannot tell you how many times I've been in this CVS line and I've had this happen, that seniors have to stand here and think about which pills they can afford and which pills they can't. And nothing saddens me more to see that. And to me, there just has to be a better way. To look at a senior possibly have to go out without their blood thinner or without their heart medication or without whatever the medication is. It breaks my heart. And I would like for us to be able to do something in the near future to change that, because Medicare or whatever is going on just isn't enough at times. And seniors shouldn't be worried about whether they have enough money to get a pill that could possibly save their lives. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for joining me on the Dray Way. That's my thought of the day. Make this day a great day. I hope to see you tomorrow. The Dray Way every day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.